Right, welcome back. We're still in the Northwest today. We're in Klerksdorp, and we're starting to get your questions on Twitter and Morning Live SABC, and also our audience that's here to chat to our MECs. And let's start on table number 18, where we'll find Pastor Julius Moloi. There we go.
Good morning to you, Peter, and our MECs. I am Pastor Julius Moloi. I look at the arts, agriculture, culture, and tourism. My question is that has the department or the province taken cognizance of religion as an important role player as far as tourism is concerned? Internationally, other countries like the US and Nigeria have taken cognizance of religion as a role player as far as the movement of people is concerned. The Christian schools that are being set up everywhere, you know, if you've got a church that is very prominent in an area, that influences how people move. And even if you've got a religious event anywhere in the country, that also influences people's movement and investment in that particular area. So is the Northwest Province taking cognizance of that? One question also is that are religious leaders seen as key influencers as far as socioeconomic development is concerned? We know every time when you talk about pastors, we talk about social development, we talk about non-profit, needy, and all of that. But is the department or is the government realizing that pastors are also influencers as far as socioeconomic development is concerned? Thanks.
All right. So, Pastor, just before you sit down, you're a pastor, a very stylish one, I can see from your clothes. What do you want to do? What are you offering the province? Because you're suggesting that there's something that you can do. What is it that you can do for the province?
It's not what I can do, Peter, it's what I am doing.
Okay.
Right now, I'm busy with a 43 million rand project right in Matlosana. And I'm also influencing young people to get into entrepreneurship. So I'm an entrepreneur myself. And I'm also influencing others to be entrepreneurs. So I'm already playing that role, but I'm wondering, because the biggest challenge is that when you go to government and you want to speak to them at a level of Christian leadership, they always want to push you like you want a food parcel or something. And that is what irritates me most of the time, because we have to play a role. We are leaders, we are influencers. We are not only important at time of election, where we are seen as social mobilizers.
Okay, all right. So I think we've got to the nitty-gritty now. I don't know who wants to pick up on some of the issues. Maybe you all want to speak on it. Okay.
No, thanks, Peter. I would request Pastor Moloi to come forward and also share with us what you could do. But within the province, as part of the policy shift that Premier has came with, there's an RHR program, Reconciliation, Healing and Renewal, where our religious leaders are participating. You will remember that we had issues in Bloemhof. Our pastors, our bishops played a key role. We have been to Marika now for a prayer in reconciliation and healing. And it was an open thing. In the Premier's office, that is being led by Bishop Kuno. In this Dr. K.K. Kaunda, you have your Bishop Masangwis that are participating in that. And Premier is saying, because we're coming from a very difficult era where people are wounded, where we're having cases every day, whether it's of domestic abuse or everything, we want our religious leaders to participate, especially on issues of social development. It is an open thing. It is an open program. Everybody is welcome wherever we're going. Even at legislature, the speaker, every month he's having that program. So we will request Pastor that honestly he must come forward and participate in that reconciliation, healing and renewal.
He's saying, though, that, you know, outside of elections, religious leaders are not giving the same importance as leaders in the community, and he wants more of that. And he says that perhaps you should be seeking them in other areas other than just some of these traditional areas where you find churches, but just in leadership general.
Yes, Peter, we're not on elections as we speak. I'm talking about something that is happening monthly, as and when we are talking now. We were not in elections when we were in Marikana. Bloemhof happened after elections. But we are saying continuously we can engage and check, because it's not that we know everything as government. We are alive to inputs that can come from the religious sector, but the recognition is there that the religious sector plays an important role on social ills that we are facing as a province. Now, we would want to say to them, come to the Premier's office. That program is there where you can participate and make a substantial input on whatever government is doing.
All right. So, Pastor Moloi, the Premier's office is waiting for you. Table 13, OJ, is that Shambuko?
Good morning, everyone, Peter and viewers at home. My name is OJ Shambok. I'm the chairperson for Dr. Kenneth Kaunda District Tourism Association. The first question will go to 3 MECs. How will you assist the product owners to see to it that the strategic plan for ACT are implemented? What I'm saying in that regard, for us to avoid working in silos, you will find out that we have Agri-Expo, and we don't see our tour operators, taking those particular people in tours, more especially in our district and our local municipalities. The second question, I know MEC, we spoke about this last time, the transformation in the tourism industry. We are really, I'm a product owner, I'm a tour operator by myself, we are really struggling. And also the issue of tour operating license. Thank you, MEC.
Okay, when you say transformation in the tourism industry, what do you need to be seeing? Sorry, if you could just stand up again. Just be a bit more specific with the transformation issues. What is not changing?
Peter, from where I come from, the majority of people who are playing in this industry are still white people, and they are blocking some roads for us. Last 2 weeks, I was having a problem with one of the product owners who are part of the associations, and it was really painful because it's really making us to ask ourselves, and we have expect as black people to run the industry, because policies are put in places, but we are not doing things according to the books, and really roads have been blocked when coming to us Africans.
Who's blocking you?
The big giants, Peter.
Sorry?
The big giants, those who have been in the industry for a very long time.
All right.
Yes.
MEC, you must know about this.
Yeah. No, indeed. OJ is with me all the way. When we won the best stand at Durban Indaba, he was part of the history. He's always with me. Peter is a concern at the level of the MINMEC. Some MEC have been raising it. I'm new in tourism, but they've been there before me. They've been raising that the industry is lily white. What is it that we do? But at the same time, Peter, I always tell our people, you can't force a person to do something that the person don't. People need to understand that business has got its own up and down. Load shading in the business. Now, when the time comes, you must stay strong. And I'm happy that I'm trying to ensure that I work with them. I don't just say to them, do something and not do anything about them. The issue of the tour operator's license, they've raised the matter with me. The first meeting I have with the tour operator, that they have been treated like taxi drivers. When their license have expired, they lose business because they have to go and tour and take the tourists from OR before we have an airport to OR and bring them this side, but they don't have an operating license. I then agree with MEC Transport to say that there will be a senior person in the department that deals directly with the tour operators, not with mixing it with the taxis. But there are those who are always taking chances. But that matter is sealed between me and the MEC of Transport, that a senior person will make sure, if there are still challenges for our tour operators to access, I think they know I'm approachable. Peter, they even phone me when I'm sleeping. I don't switch off my phone. They know they can come back to me, and we go and address it individually.
Do you know who these white operators are that are blocking him?
No, the blockage is the new thing. The blockage, OJ, you didn't tell me, you didn't warn me about the blockage. What I know, now what I know, Peter, is that is a challenge to our black people, because most of them, they are emerging.
Okay.
And that one on its own. That's why we are going to have Tourism Expo here in Dr. KK. Is coming before the end of this year, whereby we will also be taking everybody, because I'm encouraging them. When I sleep in this BNB, I even sleep in the white people BNB to say, when I call you guys, come to the party. Don't make yourself an island. And they are coming, Peter, I can assure you. Okay. We are with some of them in Botswana. They are coming and say, we want to work with the people. Others were volunteering. I'm ready to even take some of them along with me.
All right. Okay. Extra O tweets and says there's a lack of drinking water in the Setsokotsane area. Shouldn't we be looking at basic needs first? I don't know if the MEC, who's the relevant MEC to answer that question?
The MEC is not here,
okay, so
but we will talk, because we are one government.
Okay, so what is this true, that there's a lack of drinking water in Setsokotsane?
No, there's a problem of water throughout the country. It's not Setsokotsane only. But I can tell you, Peter, a few weeks ago, we were in Muruleng launching their partnership with the mine. Khosi was explaining to the people who were there that there is a pipe. They will be working on the issue of water, unlike all the water going away in I'm talking of Setsokotsane. And this will also help neighboring villages where Khosi Pilani is not operating. But the pipe that they will put for water and sewer will also pass through these other villages. So Rome was never built in one day. We are trying our best as this government. And also the municipality is working very hard to assist. It's not like they are folding their arms doing nothing. There are also water tanks that are driven around to ensure that people get water. But I can assure you that working together with the private people, that leadership is making sure that people in Setsokotsane will definitely get water.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but it's been 20-something years now. MEC Nelson, do you have the money?
What we're saying is, Peter, that there are challenges with water, but we also need to go into partnerships. We're currently in discussion with DBSA to see how we can address these challenges. It is not only in the Bojanala region. In Naka, we also have problems with water. We have major problems. We have problems with boreholes. But we're busy with DBSA to see how we can address this. It's a challenge, but it's not insurmountable. And we're addressing it systematically. We're addressing this problem to see how we can address the water issue.
What specifically are the challenges? What's holding you back when you say Rome wasn't built in a day, you're talking to DBS? What is holding you back? What can you say, this is the problem and this is what we need to fix?
Water sources, Peter, where are we pulling water from? Some of these areas are not near to dams where we can pipe in water. We need to rely on groundwater. We need to look at boreholes. Boreholes sometimes are going dry. It's the maintenance of the boreholes. It is also boreholes that need to be, addressed all the time. It needs to be maintained. You have also, I think, and we must speak about this, you also have the vandalizing of boreholes, which is problematic. And the moment a borehole is vandalized, you have a problem with water. So it's quite a huge challenge because there's no water that we can pipe from immediately. But as I say, we are in discussions with the National Department. The National Department is on board, DBSA is on board to see how we can address the challenge of water.
All right. Table number 2. Is that Professor Lekgotlo?
Thank you, everybody. All protocol observes, our MEC is present. I just a few questions.
All right.
And a word of appreciation.
We don't have time for all of them, so you're going to have to choose the one that you think is going to make the most difference to the province.
I'm the chairperson of NERPO in the Northwest.
Which is?
National Emergent Red Meat Producers Organization.
Okay.
So I'm the top farmer in the province, so I have to talk.
Okay.
Right. We have noted with appreciation the strategies mentioned by our MEC of Agriculture, Tlhape, on what assistance they are giving us. But more importantly, what I would like to highlight is we still need the support in entering the agro-business processing of meat, etc., etc. We need the support. As NERPO, we have more than 150 farmers who have agreed to contribute at least 20 cows for slaughter. So we are talking about producing more than 5,000 to 8,000 cows for slaughter. We are ready, but we don't have the slaughtering place, the abattoirs, etc. we are struggling to get those abattoirs. And as NERPO, we gave our farmers from 2009 over 43 million as loans. So we are doing something as farmers, as NERPO in our country. So we are not just a manga business here. And then value chain, I have mentioned the value chain, that we would like to participate in the value chain. And as NERPO, we are saying we want a radical transformation in the acquisition of land. We cannot go on and on having farmers without any access to land. If we have to commercialize farmers in this country, black farmers in particular, then we have to make sure that they have access to land. And we like to get the support in terms of radical transformation in land acquisition in this beautiful country. To tourism, what strategies do we have in place to maximize the participation of our black people? I'm not hesitant to say it, because they were historically disadvantaged. What strategies do we have in place to make sure that our black people in particular participate meaningfully and successfully in tourism, as well as in game industry? I'll stop for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. All right, so very definite views and I think powerful points that were made. Your thoughts, we'll start with you.
Yeah, no, Peter, Prof. Lekgotlo is the chairperson of NERPO, like he's saying. 2 months ago, I invited them, the Temorule is here, to say, as a department, we are in negotiation with the South African National Defence Force. And I'm happy to pronounce that around the 25th, we'll be signing the Memorandum of Agreement with the South African National Defence Force, where the very same meat producers has to supply the SANDF. And this is a market that we have created. My question to NERPO was, are you ready? Because our job is to support them, to look for markets for this for them. Premier has said, even with the some track, some work philosophy that you are doing with your SANDF and start at home, supply your hospitals, supply your school nutrition programs. And this is what we have been saying to the farmers. Now, they know that even within the budget speech that we have shared with the nation, we have said as a province, it is there in Mahikeng meat processing plant. It is complete. We are doing this and that just to start operation. We are building an abattoir in Morwatshetla, in Mahikeng. We are building an abattoir in Mabiskral, Khosimabi is here. We have just said currently, the agri-park in your Dr. Ruth Sokhomotsi focuses on livestock. And we are establishing an agro-hub. In fact, it is almost finished in Taung. There's also livestock agri-park in Moretil. And all this, like I have alluded, we're building infrastructure that will seek to address whatever they're doing. So I'm saying to our farmers, the others, when we have cleaned those deals, will be able to allude. I even shared to them that we are talking to our national DERCO, looking at the Russian market. Or a beef beggar wants to say, I will be able to support us as the Northwest. So all that, the farmers in the Northwest, we are creating an environment for them to say produce. That's why we are on the bull subsidy scheme, livestock improvement plan, so that as and when these deals are clinched, they should be able to supply. Right. Now they're starting with SANDF, they're starting with schools, they're starting with hospitals in the province.
The other big question is land, and that is another one that keeps coming up, isn't it? Yeah. They can't farm without land.
Yeah, let's go to the issue of land. Land, it is a commodity that it does not expand, and this is what we said even within our farmers' roadshows. Now, we have encouraged our farmers to say, like the Premier is talking about villages, township, and small dorpies, let's farm where we are. We are discouraging our farmers to go and say we want farms, because for them a farm is something that has smaller nyana house, a storage, 250 hectares that they want to acquire, whereas they live from rural areas, 600 hectares of land. The horses are here, sitting here, they are saying to us, we don't have qualms with giving our people land. In every village, traditionally, you have as a traditional, as a family, Tsimu ya go ra Tlhape, you have Tsimu ya go ra Mamang. So all those things we are saying to them, what we need to do as a department is to come and assist you, put up fences, bore water, because we don't have enough land. Even the farmers themselves, it's not everybody that leaves the farm and want to sell. So we cannot say for farmers to acquire land, it has to be something that has been owned by our white people. We want to say, let's farm where we are, rural economies, let's revitalize them. And this is the route we're taking as a department.
Okay, and then tourism.
You know, Peter, what the young ones are saying? That's what they say. I'm inviting Prof to come and join us when we have our meeting with our product owners. I have discouraged ESCO to ensure that whatever we do, we must use it in our B&Bs and our lodges. And we have 56 traditional villages. And we have said as the department, we want to pick up in each and every village a youth whom, Peter, when you arrive in Pitiri Suleyang, that youth must be able to tell you what is it that you can enjoy in Pitiri Suleyang. So we are making it, we are starting 1 year, 2 months, but already we have made some stride. Our ESCO meeting are held in our B&Bs in village. The other one was in Motsoseng village, the other one in another village. There are a lot of B&Bs in our village. We are making sure that we bring our black people on board, not living, because the mistake that we do sometimes is destroy what is existing and want to start a new thing. You must build on what is existing. That's why I'm forcing, they must take these other ones that are emerging along. So, because we are now a rainbow nation, you can't run away from it. It's here. You can't run away from it anymore. So we are making sure that we don't leave our blacks. I'm inviting Prof to come even to our expo to see how our black people are enjoying the industry again.
Okay.
Peter, can I come in as well as from the point of economic development? We couldn't agree more. We're saying there must be agro-processing. We're saying there must be the value chain that must be developed. And I want to say that the entity within the finance, economy and enterprise development is the Northwest Development Corporation. We are using the Northwest Development Corporation as the funding institution within the province, and also the investment wing within the province. So they are there. We've got a very close relationship with the IDC, with the NEF, and we have made sure that we are really working together to ensure that when funding is needed, we have the avenues that are there, because we're saying we must work with agro-processing, we must have the value chain. So NWDC, together with economic development, together with NEF and all these funding institutions are there. People need to come forward and we will assist to get this off the ground.
Okay. Yeah. A tweet for you, MEC. Vegezela Zulu says, what qualifications are needed in order to be an applicant that will be empowered in the agricultural sector? He's a young man, and I guess he wants to get involved, and he's wondering what qualifications does he need for him to get help? How do young people enter agriculture in the province?
Peter, in the province, currently we're having 2 colleges of agriculture. The youth that has just tweeted can go into the agricultural college and get a diploma. I have just indicated that in Taung we'll be having the first diplomas NQ level 6 that are specializing in irrigation. Poch Agricultural College has got various faculties within it. We are also not only looking at the formal education. Farmer Kora Training Center is for farmers that has never had formal skills, but they are into farming, where we upgrade their knowledge. Currently, also adding on whatever Prof. Lekgotlo has indicated, we are refurbishing a food processing lab, where we are teaching them how to process after production. Now, it is not only through formal education that you can go into farming. There are those colleges and institutions that we can be able to assist. But there are various also work opportunities within agriculture. For an example, you need scientists, you need engineers, you need researchers, and it's a whole lot of a chain that you need experts within agriculture. That's why within the department we're also having agribusiness, where they look into whatever we are doing, is it talking to spiking the economy or everything. But in the main, there are colleges of agriculture throughout the country. We're having 2 in the province, and there's also informal education where we can even teach a person how to milk a cow or how to produce meat or anything.
Okay. I think that answers his question. Let's go to table number 1, where we'll find Lesego. Table number 1, if you could say your surname. I can't quite read your writing.
Lesego Mate Atau.
Okay.
Dumelang bagolo, MECs, and everyone at home. My question is mainly for MEC Wendy Nelson, who is standing in for MEC Tebogo Modise. One, it would be that what are the plans for artists in Northwest Province, specifically for Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, except of recording studios? And also, I'd love Ms. Nelson to convey a message to MEC Modise to ensure that community art centers within the locations in our Northwest Province to be reactivated so that they get to work again, so that we can show again that gangsterism can be reduced around our locations. And also, I must give MEC Modise props for the relationship of the Northwest University in Potchefstroom, which is speaker, and the department. I believe good things are going to come from that. Thank you.
Are you an artist yourself?
Yes, Mina.
Okay, so are you optimistic about the future? I know that what you've asked them. Are you optimistic that you can carve out a career here and not have to go to Gauteng?
Yes. It's a huge concern for every artist in Northwest Province that we're going to have to go to Johannesburg instead of having to ensure that the Northwest Province as fruitfully it is in terms of the arts. And most of artists are which I came from Northwest are now in Joburg. But we need to ensure that even the younger ones that come after us, they must know that the Northwest Province is a place of art, and they can show that they grow and people know about them. They embrace this gift that we have from God.
All right, okay. So how do we help her? You heard the requests?
Yes, thanks, Peter. I'm going to respond to Lesego. Yes, community art centers are in the process of being revitalized in communities. So this is one of the programs that is already underway. It is very important for us. I think we have acknowledged that everyone that has been homegrown in the Bokoni-Bapirima province is no longer in the Bokoni-Bapirima province. And we need to get them back into the province. We are saying we want to make these recording studios available to people. We want them to be able to do their CDs, to be able to do all their recordings within the province without going out of the province. The department is also there to offer support to them. What we're looking at, Peter, and I actually said I wanted to say this in closing, but I think it's necessary for us to say it. We want to do a call on all of our artists, homegrown artists, that are outside of the province, to come back into the province and to plow back. The Premier was indicating and saying one day in a discussion, maybe we should be asking all of the artists that are outside of the province to come and celebrate their birthdays in the province. So at least once a year, you bring every artist that is homegrown from this province into the province. And so we develop again, and so you ignite new interest again into the arts. But as a department, we're definitely there to support artists.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is ask actually for a definitive timeline, because this conversation sounds very familiar. I think I've had this conversation with you before. These community centers, these studios, I think even 2 years ago I've had this conversation in Mahikeng. So I'm just wondering, give us a deadline where you can say she can go and this community center will be up and running, these studios will be up and running. Please give us a timeline.
Some of them are already running. I've been have an indication that we have one in Naka, We have one in Dr. KK and we have one in Dr. RSM. I will have to just, after the program, directly just give where in these areas. But the indication are that we already have 3 up and running. Within this financial year, I think there are 3 or 4 that is already in the pipeline. Obviously, we can't do all of them within one financial year, but we need to ensure that we at least have 1 in every region within. And the indication are that these community arts centers are already up in 3 districts. But I will give that through to Lesego.
No, Peter, this ESCO and the Premier have instructed myself and MEC Modise to go to Gauteng and call all our celebrities, artists, all of them under one roof. And that was done technically so. And the Premier went further and said, these artists, they must come back home to celebrate their birthday so that they can contribute to what the growth of the economy. I can assure you, Stone Theatre's 40th birthday was celebrated here in Mahikeng. And we are saying our local artists is very critical that this one, because we have trained them from here in the Northwest, they must come and take our local artists along so that they can expose. And Northwest have got the best recording studio in the world.
Is it working, though?
It's working, yes.
Okay.
Artists come all over the world to come and record there. All what it has to be streamlined and assist our... I usually say, but when you want something, you want it now.
Okay.
You see?
All right. I'm going to try and get through as many of these as possible. Here's a familiar face. Dodo is on table number 2. Big man in the industry. So what are your thoughts on what you've heard so far?
Good morning, Peter and honorable leaders. 2 things that I really want to say. It's very disappointing that our leaders find it easy not to tell the truth, also on a national TV. I think it's quite critical that issues of transformation, it's important that they should be upheld without any compromise. I hear the point that the celebrities coming back to the province. You were there, Peter. I announced it to say, we are here to help. But the challenge in our province is that timelessly when you want to help, the challenge becomes you are being individualized. The president has been very clear since 2009 to say he's encouraging all the departments to start working with the organizations and stop working with the individuals, because these are the individuals that are closer to them. And they're able to get the benefits because they're much closer to them. It is important for the departments to start working with formalized organizations so that they are able to speak on behalf of masses. When they speak on behalf of masses, then it's easy for the benefits to infiltrate the province. The other question that I would like to raise, Brapit, is that there's a lack of needle-time knowledge in our country since 1994. And this has led to our artists and our producers dying pauper. I'm pointing this question to our department, to Nelson, to say, what is it that can be done in order to educate our artists before they come into the terrain of performance and celebration, so that our artists, Prapita, they are able to move from the periphery to the business center of the music industry. The challenge is that our artists, for a long time, they are only known as guitar-carrying people that are looking for events, but they are not participating in the real business of music. Until such time, our government takes cognizance of that we are business people, not only performers.
What do you need government to do for you?
We need government to start working with the organized formations, because as formations, we are able to plan and prioritize the programs that are relevant to us, so that we are able to all of us get the benefits at the same time.
What are they not hearing? I mean, I'm hearing all these initiatives here. Are they not on the same page as you? Are they not including you? What am I not hearing?
What you're not hearing, Rapid, is that there's a continuous engagement of individuals in the departments. And that becomes a problem, because until such time that the departments are working, unfortunately, we as CIFSA, We have just working on an MOI with the Department of Arts and Culture. Until such time that happens, because we are not speaking as individuals, we're speaking on behalf of masses. Like, for instance, the issue of the studios. For me, I think it's a program, it's a good program, but maybe it was not well thought, because there has to be a value chain understanding of what leads to the lifespan, a complete lifespan of an artist or a performer, because there's lots of gaps that has led to that initiative. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So you're on national TV, so you must speak truth.
We are telling the truth. How can we lie? There's no need
Peter,
for it.
I think I need to say that one of the philosophies of this fifth administration is the Samtrek Samwerk philosophy. We have gone out to say that we need everyone within this province. And as a department, even more so. So we need to take hands with the organized sector. I'm not aware that anyone has been closed out and where doors have been closed. But what we are saying, and I'm saying it on national television, that we have subscribed to the Samtrek Samwerk philosophy. We need everyone on board in this province. Everyone has a contribution to make. No one within the department, not all of us have all the answers. And obviously there are people that are in industries that know more about the industry than sometimes the department does. So this is an open invitation to everyone. We need everybody on board. We need every sector within in the industry on board. And I think at some stage there has been some kind of seminar where everybody was brought together.
Are you reaching out to the organizations? Do you know about them? Or because he seems to suggest that you're looking after just the celebrities, or you're trying to pull in, which might help get some awareness. But these are the guys that can organize on the ground because they represent groups. Are they being left out of the conversation?
I can't say to you they are being left out of the conversation. There may be a perception out there that we're only working with individuals. If that is the perception, then we need to correct that perception and say, we want you, Dodo, on board. We want all the sectors on board. And that then today is an open invitation. The department, the acting HOD is here, and everyone else from the department is here, and I want to challenge them then to ensure that everyone within, all sectors, organized sectors within the sector are brought on board if there has been anyone that has been left out. Because I believe that there is always an opportunity to grow. There is always an opportunity to get more information and to improve. We are never always, completely at a point where we can say we have arrived.
All right, Dodo, you've heard. So I've got you an appointment. All right,
Peter,
we're going to take...
Peter, before you go on, it can't be correct that in the international radio we are lying to. We can't. And I'm challenging Dodo to say he must come on board. Because I usually say to people, if you talk to official, they can assist you, go to the next official, go to the MEC, go to the premier, then go to the president. Then you say, government have failed you. I'm seeing the Dodo for the first time. I don't know him. I've never met him before. But usually when people come to me, it's not my mandate. I talk to the MEC relevant and I refer the person to the relevant MEC. So we are not like, we can't even lie.
Okay, all right. You must be escorted off the premises today. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this.